What's up, comic book community? My name is Joe, and this is 360 Comics. Unfortunately, we have some negative news to talk about today. One of my local comic book shops was robbed earlier this week. The owner was assaulted. It was a terrible situation. I stopped by there today to see how he was doing and, of course, help support his business by buying some comic books. And I actually came home with a pretty nice-sized haul, so I figured I would raise awareness about the situation at the same time as I share my haul with you guys today. So stay tuned to see what I got. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave a comment on it. Turn on the notifications, follow on Instagram, all that other stuff. Of course, that enters you to win the giveaway for this week, which is the Incredible Hulk number 418, the first appearance of Talos. Good luck. I'll be picking a winner Sunday evening live on Instagram. The LCS that we're talking about today is called Comic Collection and Records 2. It's located in Feasterville, Pennsylvania, just north of Northeast Philadelphia. And it's not my main LCS, but it's one that I go to every once in a while because they have a massive selection of back issues. Definitely worth checking out. And the owner, Dave, really nice, genuine, friendly guy who's actually been in business since the mid-1980s. Not only has this comic shop been around for probably nearing 40 years at this point, but they survived the 90s, which a lot of comic stores did not. So big shout out to him for obviously running a great business. That being said, what happened earlier this week was two guys went in to the store. They asked Dave, the owner, to retrieve something from a high shelf, and when he got up on the ladder, they knocked the ladder down and assaulted him. Completely unnecessary, and I really feel for him. Definitely not something I would wish on anyone. But, you know, when he was down and out, they ended up taking, I believe, cash and comics and stuff like that, stuff that they thought was valuable, and they made off with it. Fortunately, they did drop a lot of the items when they were being, chased down. And they were obviously returned to the store, so they did get most of the things back, but still not a great situation for a store to be losing inventory, and even more so than that, what Dave had to go through, just absolutely terrible. So, like I said, if you're in the area, please stop by and support that store. The two individuals pictured here, look out for them, especially if you live on this part of the East Coast and see these guys selling comic books. I would suggest not trying to interfere yourself, but letting the authorities handle things as far as apprehension and stuff, because as you can see, they are violent and they've done violent things, and it's better to keep yourself safe. Anyway, let's get into what I grabbed from Dave on my visit this afternoon. First up is this variant cover of Secret Wars number 9. If you can tell, it's a Scotty Young variant cover, the baby variants, as a lot of people call them. I picked this up for a couple reasons. Scotty Young, really popular. People are always asking me for his stuff. Secret Wars, obviously, that is a property that is going to be coming to film soon. And same with Dr. Doom and Mr. Fantastic, two characters that, are probably coming soon. And especially with Dr. Doom, people collect his cover appearances pretty highly. Now, this next group of stuff was a bunch of really low-grade Amazing Spider-Man, and we kind of bundled everything together at the end, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that when we get to it. But this is Amazing Spider-Man number 23, the third appearance of the Green Goblin. It is low grade, but I did not have this book in my personal collection, so this is a great placeholder until I can get myself a higher grade one, probably realistically a mid-grade one, but still great nonetheless. Same thing with this issue number 30, first appearance of the Cat Burglar. Not, again, in very high condition at all. In fact, you can see there is a massive spine roll on this book. I'm going to give this one to my friend Alex. He is great at getting spine rolls out and, kind of respining a book, pressing it flat and then folding it again. So I'm going to have him do that with that book. And then we got a book that you watched me pick up recently, Amazing Spider-Man number 47, classic John Romita Craven cover. Gotta look, I think the one that I have is probably higher grade than this one. I kind of gotta check and see which one is better. Obviously, I'm going to keep the better copy and probably have the other one up for grabs at some point soon. Then we've got the Amazing Spider-Man number 49. I don't believe this is a key by any means, but, John Romita, Silver Age, Stan Lee story. I'm trying to collect this whole run, so the filler issues are pretty much just as good as the keys to me. Then we've got number 57, First Meeting of Spider-Man and Kazar. And this is another book that I think I might have, but I think this copy might be sharper than the low-grade one that I have. So this might be an upgrade to my personal collection. Then we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 60. Surprisingly enough, this is listed as the 5th appearance of the Kingpin. I don't know if we need to list 5th appearances, but it is a classic, again, John Romita cover. It does have some pen on the cover, but whatever. I don't care. This is filler issues for my personal collection. Then we got The Amazing Spider-Man number 61. Surprisingly, this is the first cover appearance of Gwen Stacy. She did not appear on the cover of a comic after first appearing in issue number 31 for 30 issues until she was on the cover of this one. And she's very small down there and not a very big cover appearance, but definitely a key book. This one, again, I have a low-grade copy in the PC. This one might end up replacing that. I got a couple of more ASM books, and then we'll get to the bigger stuff. And one of them is this right here, issue number 63. Great Vulture 1 and Vulture 2, or that might actually be Vulture 2 and... no, that's 1 and 2 on the cover. And again, a book I didn't have in my personal collection, just a filler, but still great. And then, of course, this classic John Romita cover. One of my favorite Spider-Man covers that I don't own. Magneto. I almost said Magneto. Mysterio is one of my favorite villains. Certainly my favorite out of Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. But this cover just is absolutely iconic, showcasing the character. Probably my favorite Mysterio cover, and there are a lot of really good ones. Moving on to some of the bigger books, and I'll talk about pricing at the end for everything. You saw this book in the beginning, and then the thumbnail. This is Batman number 66 from 1951. We're talking Golden Age Batman here, a double-digit book. Not only that, but it was created by Bill Finger and Bob Kane. It is the original team that created Batman working on this book, and that is phenomenal. Not only that, it's got a Joker cover, a very iconic Joker cover, and an interesting key significance that I'm not going to mention on the channel, but you can check it out on Key Collector. They do talk about it, but I'm going to refrain from mentioning it there. But if you have Key Collector, pop it open, look up Batman number 66, and 1951, guys. This book is 71 years old this year. This one staying in the PC without a doubt. It's definitely going to get graded as well. We looked over it, me and my buddy Alex, and we're kind of putting it somewhere around a 3.5, which I think with the price that I paid on it, that's a pretty solid deal on a book in that kind of condition from that era. Last but not least, this is a really interesting one. This is Mystery Men Comics number 24. This book... now, the last one was from 1951. This dates back to 1941, an additional 10 years older. So this book is 81 years old. It features Blue Beetle on the front. I think he was in most of this title. I think this was like a 30-some issue run, and I believe he was in all or most of it. But yeah, anytime you can find a book from the early 40s, especially, of a prominent character like Blue Beetle, it's gonna be a hard book to find, and a pretty coveted book at that. Now, whereas this Batman book is completely intact and complete, everything, there's nothing clipped out, nothing's loose or detached. This Mystery Men Comics does have a detached centerfold. It is complete. Everything is there, but the centerfold is detached from the staples. Not too big of a deal. I would personally rather have a detached centerfold than a detached cover. And honestly, once it's, slabbed up, which is certainly going to happen with this guy, it's really not going to matter either way too much. But like... 1941, 81-year-old comic. It is a ghost. I could not find very many sales of this, so I had to kind of go out on a limb and assume that the price is good. Did some research, certainly, and kind of made an educated guess. but I thought I got a really good deal. So basically, this book was priced at $500. The Batman book was priced at $400, and the rest of the Spider-Man stuff, that was priced between $15 and $30. I think most of it was right around $20. Again, those are low-grade ASM books. So basically what happened was, I kind of said, if I wanted all of this, would you do some kind of a deal? And he said, well, make me an offer. And, sat there, I thought for a second. I said, okay, well, you know what? If I buy these two, the two big ones, the $400 comic and the $500 comic, for what you're asking for them, can I get the Amazing Spider-Man books for free? And the Amazing Spider-Man books totaled $215. And then there was that cheap little Secret Wars book as well. So let's call it $220 or so. That being said, he thought about it for a second and said, you know what? Absolutely. He said, you stopped in here and checked on me, made sure everything was cool, and I really appreciate that. I'd be willing to make you happy and give you that good deal. So I paid $900, obviously plus tax, so it came out to about $950, and I got these amazing books. This one, it's kind of up in the air what its value really could be. Like I said, there weren't many sales. There was one this year, and it was I believe a 5.0 for just under $2,700. Now, this is not a 5.0 with the centerfold detached. It's a really nice looking book, but you can see there is some rusting on the staple right there, and the centerfold's attached. This one's probably more like a 3.0, 3.5, maybe even a 4.0. That would be phenomenal if it got that. But it's hard to say because you never know how much the rust and the detached staple are really going to bring the grade down. That being said, I am pretty positive that $500 for this book was a great price. Certainly the price on this was great as well. And, I got the ASM stuff for free. So bunch of stuff for my personal collection, some upgrades to my personal collection as well. And, not only one Golden Age book, two Golden Age books, but one that I'm going to do a little bit more research, got to kind of figure out what this thing is worth. And this might end up being, possibly up for grabs or possibly try to work it into a trade. I've been trying to do some trades with my bigger books, and this might be really good trade fodder to a Golden Age collector who might be willing to trade me some, possibly Golden Age pre-code horror, which is something that I've been looking for. So, all in all, great buy, in my opinion. Shout out to Dave. Hope he is feeling better and bounces back from that terrible situation. Please go check out his store, Comic Collection in Feasterville, Pennsylvania, if you're in the area. They do new books, they do old books, they have toys, collected editions, and records, as in the name, records too. Definitely go check them out. Spend some money. Let him, bounce back a little bit faster. And that's about it for this video. So until next time, turn the page, wash your hands.